Hello everyone, welcome back to Tumbleweed. We are going to follow a round two winners bracket match between Nobu and Alec. Alec is not here yet, but I thought I would just take 2 minutes to present the players and explain a little bit what I'm expecting. Um, Alec is the champion from last year. He had a pretty eventful run through the lower bracket, which was full of interesting games against Atari and Hootie, Burns, Testing QWERTY. He really went through the best players to win it, and uh, it was very impressive. Um, and Nobu is a player that I think started last year. He has become really good recently, in my opinion, and I'm expecting a really tough game. Uh, I'm excited for it. I also thought I would just present pretty quickly what Nobu has made for the community, which is a website called tumbleweed.games. And on tumbleweed.games, you have a record of uh, matches that are played in pretty much every possible way of playing Tumbleweed online. So Board Game Arena, IGTC, and Little Golem, they're gonna end up here. You don't have to do anything. So if you play a game, it's gonna end up on this website in at some point. For example, let's say so we have size 6, size 8. So if you look at a game on size 8, this one, let's say, which I assume was played on BGA, um, then we are going to have a summary of like the game score, the game moves, and you can go through the game with arrow keys pretty easily. You can, and if you want to investigate a bit more position, you have a button that sends you to Atari's editor with the corresponding position so that you can analyze and play variants. Um, it is pretty useful to have all these games here. You also happen to have an opening explorer, which is pretty cool. So you can look at how much an opening was played, um, and try to see like who has played it. So here, like we see that there's a lot of Komachin games, which makes sense. It is, yeah, it is Komachin's opening. Um, And also, we have tags for easily finding the championship games. So these are the championship games from last year. Um, it's pretty nice to have a look. And there's also a guide. So that would be all. But I just wanted to present this website because it's very impressive what Nobu has done. And we're very glad as a community to have this website running. And he was able to also include some of our contributions, some advice for beginners that I wrote, some fundamental shapes in tumbleweed documents by Alec, which is very interesting, detailing a bunch of things about the game, a bunch of concepts and shapes, and you have a bunch of resources on this website that are really great, and some puzzles even made by the community. So we started with Nobu playing, setting up the pie on A1 J11. A1 J11. Um, which is slightly unusual, I guess. Usually people play in I10, but I do think it's kind of a good idea on size 8 to also try playing a bit further away from the center. So maybe it's a good idea. Because on size 8, it feels like if you play too close to the center, you might have trouble expanding. And it, you know what? I kind of believe it. I kind of believe that this can be a good alternative. So we'll see what happens. D5, then okay, is E5 the correct move? Maybe. I mean, it seems natural because you want to block this J5 for whites. You want to block the 2. So now if white plays it, it's only a 1. E6 feels natural, but I don't know if that's... I mean, I'm assuming Nobu has something prepared, and we'll try to throw some things at Alec. This move prepares d5. I think it does leave white a bit open. Like, it is slightly uncomfortable. You could even, I mean, if you want, you could even play e7. But does that seem worth it? I'm not sure. It's just if e7, oops, then you can just cut. But maybe going on the left is a bit better in terms of expansion. Wondering if you can play this as well, like double cut here and here. Maybe that's the thing. G10. G10 feels like an okay possibility. I do feel like it could be easy to ignore the right as red and then pay some price for it. Like, depending on how the fighting develops on the left, maybe white gets some lines, and if white gets a 2 on j6, suddenly it is kind of a problem. So it would be, I feel like it would be okay for red to just play k7. The thing I don't like in these kind of pies with red, but maybe it's just I don't like these pies, but in these kind of pies, it feels like with red, it is awkward to expand because you're naturally blocked by the neutral. So you have a link here, you have a bunch of stacks here, and you can't expand towards the bottom really well because on one side it's blocked by the neutral, and the other side it's raw. On one side, this is blocked by the neutral, and on the other side, this kind of crosses the white link, so you can expect, if you try to go there, you can expect to get cut immediately. So, I don't know. But Alec is spending some time here, which makes sense because this is Nobu's prep. Nobu's preparation, because Nobu suggested this pie. I mean, set up the pie. So okay, we do get e7, which does look good to me. I don't know how white is going to handle this. Maybe you play h8, I don't know. It's just like, what do you do? Like, you're gonna get cut, so maybe you play d5. Do you really want to hold on to d5? It's kind of unclear. It is kind of unclear to me. Okay, so I'm assuming that Nobu has some idea cooked up for this, because it's I feel like e7 is a natural move. Now, maybe, as I said, maybe the problem for red is that you don't have any presence yet on the right, but I feel like red is much more solid than white on the left, so maybe it's okay. Maybe you just play g8. Just play g8, and then you ask red a question like, does red want to play this? Does red want to capture this one and get something on the left, and in exchange maybe white is first on the right? Feel like there could be ideas like that. Could be okay. Yeah, so we do get, okay, so we do get j6. Yeah. Yeah, asking red a question. I like that. Does red want to spend the time to capture d5? I mean, if red captures d5, then red is pretty solid. It also gets rid of yeah, feels reasonable to cut here. Red is really solid. So what do you do now? Do you retreat a bit? This feels like a hard position to play for white. I mean, you have something, but it really feels uncomfortable. It's definitely like if we look back at I mean, in a different way, but like there were some positions in the championship already where one side is really solid and the other side has to be really careful that not everything falls apart. Um, it feels like one of these situations where white has to be super careful. White maybe has a little bit more. Well, technically, in terms of influence, it's 63-51, so it's okay. Um, and by the way, the influence score is there. It's a bit zoomed out for the purposes, but of the stream. But yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's a 3 stack here. So this is a little bit more like fighting spirit than I expected. Um, getting something out of that d5 before it dies is probably good. The thing is, it also protects d9 a lot. I guess d9 would have been pretty vulnerable otherwise, but I think I still preferred f11 because now this area is very red. So does red go on the right? Red doesn't have any attacks on j6 because red doesn't see j6. That's kind of interesting. And this is a bit unusual compared to the other kind of pie like this with a1 j11. But also I'm really surprised to see a1. I really think that a1 is too far for red in most pies like this. But I mean, maybe it's different because this time the white stack is on j11. And also the thing is, Alex really likes to play red. There was a thing last year where, in the championship, Alec played against Ben, and then aka Testing Query. Then he played against Atari, and against both of these players, he got away with offering c3 as a move for red on in the pie. Because he knew that these players didn't like white, and I didn't like red, and wanted to play white. Whereas Alec is pretty content with playing red and being a bit lower at the beginning of the game. I think the take is good. The take is really good. Prevents some further use of the d5 white stack and solidifies the top. As we can see with the influence, it's just the influence by red on top is really sizable. I wonder what you do. So you don't really have any attacks, do you? With if you're white. Yeah, I think that's a really good way of playing out this position. If you want to close the right, you can try doing something like this, J7. Do you try to hold like everything? I mean, I feel like it was better to play f11 before. Because now, of course, it's not an attack. The 3 stack here. Okay, yeah. I mean, Nobu is a solid player, so it makes sense that he wants to do that. Also, it's not clear how long you're going to have the white line on the ninth, the white line of sight on the ninth line. Because eventually G9 or something is going to be there. So maybe you make use of that line before it goes. Just like for stacks, lines even coming from live stones are not like always gonna stay on the board forever. And sometimes it's good to use the lines that you know you're gonna lose before. Sorry, I missed your suggestion, Bevis. I6. think I6 is also a good expansion move. I would probably like J7 better because it closes the seventh line for red. But I think it's also good. I think that's probably, I mean, some people might disagree that there's many moves, but I don't know. I feel like in the opening you can play a bunch of things and it's fine. Yeah, that's maybe a problem. I think that's a good move. Now you are faced with the problem as white, is that your move is solid, but your move on J9. Um, but it didn't address the red line of sight on the seventh line, and at the same time, it also didn't address the gaping hole in the um, middle center left thingy part of the board. So now you have this really strong white red link uh, from E7 to K13. And what do you do? So now, okay, yeah, okay. So white is pivoting away from the bottom and going into the right and the top. So we will probably have some kind of like left-right influence thingy in the battle. Um, it is a bit unclear what happens in the lower part of the board. The last move by white blocks the red line of sight going into G1. This is, I think, also good because you use the line of sight coming from B6. So it is solid moves that maybe white couldn't get later. So if you want to play solid, I think that's a good approach. It is maybe not the best in terms of influence. We might get a kind of solid versus solid game. It's not clear. I mean, Alec doesn't always play solid, but certainly I feel more than other players. But yeah, I feel like Nobu is. I mean, Nobu has been. I mean, against you, Pepis, and also in correspondence, Nobu is kind of the epitome of solid sometimes. So we are probably not going to get a match like yesterday's match, Hootie against Burnt, where the approach that Hootie took was really bold with a lot of ones, which means like a lot of expansion, a lot of attackable stacks, very sharp, very greedy, but a really good idea. I think Hoodie's play in that game was really good in terms of trying to squeeze everything that you can in terms of influence. But the advantage of playing like this, like Nobu is playing and Alec, I guess, is playing here as well. The advantage is that you are very solid and you are going to have, when you play solid, you're going to have opportunities all over the game of expanding from that rock solid position to really try to do something more aggressive. So we got K5. Oh, yeah. K5 is good. You use the line of sight that you created coming from K13. You get a 2 here, you get a nice link behind white, and white can't cut it right now. White plays a move that I think is kind of principled. This move's idea is to anchor the position. I mean, maybe anchor is not the right word, but like to fix white's group to the right of the board. And yeah, and avoid floating in the center. The problem for white is that red still controls K7. It's kind of an issue. The important cutting spots that were open like this were this one, K11, and K6. Sorry, K7. But K7 is not a cutting point yet. Maybe later if white gets H7 or something. I feel like red is going aggressive, but it's good. The red position on the left is solid, and as red, it would feel maybe a little bit bad to just play on the left side of the board, because if red played on I don't know, like um, yeah, this move here, I11 instead, um, that feels okay, but feels like maybe red played a bit too many moves on the left. I'm not sure. It's good to get some kind of. I feel like in these positions, because of the way that tumbleweed works, where you can only use the moves that you have on the board to play on the board. Um, it's good to have something in the opponent's territory to play off of. If you don't have anything, usually you have trouble creating problems. So it's good to have at least one kind of anchor point, like K5. And probably you don't care if K5 dies eventually, but you can get a bunch of moves on this side and a bunch of moves on this side out of it. I like spending some time, which makes sense. Makes sense. This feels like a really important position. Mm, okay. Yeah, I mean, you know what? This feels like a very Alec move in a good way. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's a bad way. Um, yeah, in a good way because it just yeah, playing a three, it is solid, but at the same time, it kind of wrecks the white shape. I feel like it's good, especially because you're gonna lose. Like what I was saying before, red has control of k7, but eventually, yeah, eventually, exactly, white would have played h7. And if red plays elsewhere, I don't know, somewhere, um, then, whoops, this one, or I guess this one is better. Um, this move on h7 by white would have completely taken control of k7, and then you don't have a 3 here for red. You have a 3 here, but you don't have a 3 in this area. So it feels like a good time to use the line before it goes, as I was saying before. Um, and also, like, it cuts the white link here. It creates problems. It threatens this move because, I don't know, expand somewhere. I mean, that's a bad move, but yeah. Then I guess you could maybe cut. Can you cut? No, you can't cut actually. But you get my just yeah, you can play this and then play off of this h7 thing. Um, feels feels kind of bad. So okay, play here. Did I miss another move? I don't think so. Nice parry with an attack from Alec. Now I'm expecting some kind of parry or something. It is a bit awkward. Maybe just playing a 3 stack is good. Or that. Yeah, that's. You know what? I feel like it's a good idea because if red just takes and you take, well, then red is kind of big on the bottom. Maybe it's okay for red. Like this is a move where you're like, yeah, white is like, oh, you're attacking me. Well, I'm attacking you. Um, and it feels like losing K7 is worse than losing J11. But now that I stare at it, I'm not super sure. I mean, this would stabilize the white right side of the board a lot, but it does seem like red has some nice like concave shape going on here, like kind of like red has a better position on the sides. I'm expecting red to take, honestly. Um, if you shield, maybe you shield to like. Hmm. The problem is if you decide to shield that somewhere, I guess maybe here. Here would be okay. Then you allow. Ooh, that's good actually. I was thinking shielding there. Then you allow this move, which is kind of annoying, like a counter attack. But the thing is, I think red can shield on L8, and that prevents this move. So then what does white do? Maybe you just play here. Maybe you just play here, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe. Maybe this result is slightly better for red than the other variation I was thinking about. Maybe the shield on L8 would be a good move. The thing is, you probably don't want to play any far away shields. I mean, I'm not sure. It's just this one. I feel like it's just gonna get attacked really in an easier way, but maybe we can even play that. I don't know. It's hard to figure out without spending more time on the position. Uh, Alec is still thinking. Maybe it's worth it. Well, the thing is, I don't know what Alec is gonna play, so I don't want to spend too much time. Is this one still playable? So I think L8 is playable. Um, L8 is playable. This one is probably also playable. Yeah, yeah, that's what Alec does. I liked L8 honestly because it prevents L13, but maybe L13 is not so scary. This is better for red. This is better for red because of the solid position in the center. Red has more control over the bottom, even though it might not look that way on the left. It does look that way on the right with the influence on. Um, Red has some ways of playing this move maybe. Um, Red, I feel like has a better grasp on the top, and I don't think that Red needs much more because of these stacks. Like it's going to be so annoying to deal with for White. Uh, White also has this free stack, which is probably going to be useful on d6. Don't know who played this h9 move. This means that the white stack on j11 is completely safe for now. I do feel like Nobu stacks are a bit high generally. Like if you look at it in terms of like how far away from the center, most stacks are like 2 or 3 spaces away from the center. Which maybe it's okay. I mean, that's just like it would be something that I would think about. I feel like this is a good move by Alec. Just blocking, attacking g7. Yeah, I didn't see that. Attacking g7 and blocking the white line of sight on the h line. Also, it's a 3 stack, so I really doubt that it can be attacked easily. This feels like a super principled move. I feel like Alec has a better position and is aware of it. I'm expecting h6. I mean, or maybe can you play? Well, you can play j7, but you don't really need to worry about losing k8 as red. Because like you have this move, um, which makes it really awkward to parry. Like, are you really gonna parry this one? Like, there's no outside parries, inside parry, so you have to outside parry. You have to parry in the direction of your opponent's territory because of this acute angle thing. So maybe we're gonna get that though. Like it does do something. So it's probably better than the other shields. I think the shield on h6 is also good because it gets a line of sight on the top, but then maybe white just plays here. Wait, we did get that. Yeah. Got this, and then of course, yeah, that seems like the natural move. Just squeezing the tip of the um white arrow, kind of like white triangle. Yeah. So now I don't know what I'm expecting. Red played a really nice sequence to get more control of the top of the board. I feel like White has to do something. White has to play aggressive. Like find the weaknesses in Red's position. There are not that many, to be fair. Like it's a pretty like Alec has a pretty solid grasp on the whole board, um, at least where Red wants to be. I feel like for sure if you capture K8, it's too slow. I mean, it attacks, but it's like getting rid of possibilities of doing something on the right. So I don't like it. I hope. I guess Nobu doesn't do that. Um, what can you do? Can you play something like this? Is that bad? Might be bad. Kind of want to just attack this two here, but I don't know if it's gonna work like I want to. Is Nobu? Yeah, Nobu's on the top. Hmm. I might be missing some moves because the clock is not moving. Oh, the clock is moving. Never mind. Never mind. Maybe, yeah, maybe trying to do something on the left would be a solution for white. It feels like otherwise you're gonna lose your grasp on, I don't know, like the parts of the board where you can actually make punts. What's the game plan for whites? Maybe try to get the bottom somehow. Try to attack the left. Get most of the bottom. I guess you could play here on h13 attacking this thing, but you provoke a nice shield for your opponent. But maybe that does something. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. This is very uncomfortable. I think it would be a little bit easier if red had more weaknesses, but so we do get to think about the position a bit while the players are thinking. I hmm, I don't really know what I would do as white. Capturing feels bad. It would be good if you had like G3 somehow too, but it's not an attack. Um, and also the problem you have as white is if you play elsewhere, I don't know, a slow move or something. Do I have a slow move? Maybe something that doesn't really warrant an answer. Then the red takes is with tempo. Uh, so maybe even though it's terrible, you do want to take. Yeah, yeah, it feels bad. It feels pretty bad. But yeah, it takes. Yeah, the result is really good on the top right for red. That's insane. I didn't think that red was gonna get that good of a result. What would I want to play as white? Yeah, probably play on the left. I mean, as I said, playing on the left feels okay. It would be nice to have a way of cutting the link going from E7 to K13, but I don't really think there is. I mean, you can try this, but like it's super slow. What do you do? Um, yeah, what are you doing with this? Even though actually it's probably better. Didn't get berry, but kind of interesting because at first, well, Nobu was the host, so Nobu set up the pie. Nobu got to use some of his prep in this opening and spent less time. Um, and Alec had to spend time to figure out what to do. But now feels like Nobu's on the ropes, and Alec is in a comfortable position. He knows what to do. He found like a good game plan, and Now Nobu is spending a lot of time. I am expecting a move on the left. I think if white doesn't play on the left in the next couple moves, the game is over. Um, it's just otherwise we're really not gonna get enough points because if red gets, red already has this. So if red gets like this is super lost, obviously. But also even if red plays like if red gets this is also super lost. I feel. Yeah, it's not. I feel it's just the size of territory. This is more than half, right? It does look like more than half. Maybe if we go up to here. But yeah, so my point is, white really has to be proactive. You can't just like say I'm gonna go get this and be okay. You're not gonna be okay. So white plays this, which might look slow because it's a four, but I think it's a good move. It might not be what I've played, but it's a good move because I mean you don't really care about G G7 as white as red. I think, but this sends another line of sight into the left, which is valuable. Maybe red just plays f8. I would be tempted to play a very blunt approach like this, just trying to close everything. And if white plays here, you just shield. Um, and whatever, if if here, then here. I don't know. I like this sort of approach by red of just closing things and then trying to kill this here. I mean, it is true that there's a 3 stack here on d6, but I would probably just play that. Yeah, I really don't want a white 3 stack here. It sounds annoying. Maybe here is better. Maybe here is better actually because it shields shields any kind of. Actually, you don't need to worry about that. Well, I mean, I guess you need to worry about the tank in a different way, but I think it's fine. I think it's probably fine. Yeah. So, but in my opinion, blocking this white line on the eighth line is important. You probably have other ways of playing them. It depends if you want to play the one group strategy or not. Like if you want to play for one group as red, which I think is what red should do because red is ahead. Um, like if you can win with one group, if you can try to win with one group, it's easier than winning with multiple groups. So yeah, expecting a move around there. Okay, that's sort of similar. It does keep it is sort of similar. It does keep the white line on the board. So white has a 3 now in this variation. But the question is then, can white live on the left? It's very unclear. Like if white tries something, then do you really like? Maybe you can. I would be tempted to get behind it and try to stir up some trouble, but I think you actually might not have something severe enough as well. Maybe you do that, but if you do that, then red is gonna get this side here. So oh sorry, uh, I wasn't checking my chat. The eye diagonal is so good for red. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. But yeah, I feel like as white, if you take time to close it, it's pretty bad. You could try to. Can you play this? I mean, it feels slow. Feels like red is just gonna close, and then you have to worry about the bottom. Um, you could try, but it feels too slow to defend it. But yeah, the eye diagonal is really big. We just got this right. Yeah. That was actually we were looking at this move. I mean, I was looking at this move before. Or yeah, L13 or this one, J13. Yeah, it completely captures this one here. Now, of course, there's this move, but it doesn't work anymore because of the stacks. So now there's this move, I guess, to make use of it, and now you actually have even more control over the eye diagonal. You even have a funny move here later if you want an I7. So now if white takes, which is the most like principled response, I think that this is very small. Maybe red just plays here, block everything, and you probably lose the game. Probably. You can try stuff on the right, like on the left, sorry, like this. Maybe blocking differently is better so that you don't get this attack. I don't know if you can though. Wait, why was it attacked? Oh, it was attacked because of this. Yeah, you can. You can do that. There's another block. Yeah. But okay, white doesn't do that. White plays here. So listening to your advice about the eye diagonal. However, this gives this move to red, which is too good. It is too good. It just walks into a double attack. Now the question is, do you need to defend? Do you actually need to defend this too? I don't think you do. I don't think you need to defend this too. I mean, there's gonna be that, which is really annoying. Maybe you do need to defend. You don't really need to defend this too. You just need to defend this square here. But then the problem is you're gonna have things here. I still think it might be better to not defend and get stable on the bottom. Um, yeah, but nobody defended. Now I guess you just take. Just play. Yeah, just play solid as red. Oh yeah, but there was that. Yeah, maybe this is more solid, and then you can always come back and take if you want. Maybe this is slightly better, solidifying the top. Yeah, no white takes. That feels bad, but it really feels like there were no other options. I mean, you could try. Hmm, could have tried D8, but now I just feel like red is going to come back here and capture this somehow. I think you can capture it another way. You can capture it here, but it leaves the 3 and the 2. Okay, so closing, yeah. Alec is closing shop. Alec is thinking, I have enough points. I can just I can just close everything and win the game. And he's probably right. D3. Um you mean D3? Mm, yeah, D3. D3, yeah. So what's the difference? D3. The I mean, maybe with D3, if white plays here, then you still have like this move here later, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it does no difference. It just like I don't think that you need to play D3 in this position as red. Like in some variations, maybe this loses you a point in endgame later. But I don't think it does because you control the whole top. There's no need to worry. And the only thing that can happen is around b4. But I think this is gonna die anyway. Yeah, but this is why I wanted to play d7 as red, because it's just like, I mean, I guess closing the top is big, but now maybe white can live on the side. Do you have any super proactive answer? This shield maybe doesn't do too much. I mean, this shield does something, but not much. So maybe, yeah, maybe it's better to do the solid shield and block the white line of sight here, and we'll see. What? No, 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 no. That can't be good. That is an endgame move. That is mad. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is a couple points move. I'm pretty sure. Because if you don't play it and red captures, you can just reinforce. Like that, you don't need to worry about anything, probably. Yeah, I feel like this is just slow. I feel like it was worth way more to play d8 or something else. I don't know. Trying to get on the right, on the left, sorry. But okay, this is a move. It's completely not with tempo, and red can do something. Now, what is red going to do? Red should probably try to kill this thingy on the left. Now, it would be nice if you could play c7, but c7 doesn't quite work because you have e8. Yeah. Free stack here, I like it. Yeah, preventing the 2 on d8. And now actually you're threatening c7. What does white do? Maybe c8? Maybe c8 looks good. You tried this one, but you're just gonna get in trouble. Maybe something like that. Not sure. Maybe you can live, but it's pretty bad. You don't get many points. Yeah, I feel like this is a good move. I feel like c8 is a good move. White might be able to get something on the left. As red, you can get this free stack, but it feels good actually. But yeah, the thing is, I like defending d9 like this. This last move by white makes it so that d9 is a bit safer. So I like it. It's good shape compared to playing d8. I feel like Nobu missed his chance to attack. Like he had some strength, uh, definitely a lot of strength in the center, but didn't expand from it early enough. Like this is not an absolute, of course. Like it's just a feeling that I have. C3, C3 is good. I think. Yeah, it may be a little bit passive, but maybe red doesn't have to do anything else. Like red is actually, I think, more ahead than the estimator. Um, I would estimate that red is winning by 20 points or something, maybe a bit more. I don't know. I'm also not good at estimating, so take it with a grain of salt. I guess you shield. Do you shield on c5 or do you shield on, sorry, c5 or do you shield on c6? Maybe. Maybe one, maybe the other. Who knows? But you do have to shield because you only have you have two defenders, but uh, well, no, sorry, you have one defender, and you're attacked from yeah, G8. That's what I meant. You have two attackers. So you have this one, this one, this one, or this one to intercept the line. Maybe this is good. I don't. I sort of don't like the idea of having a red line going through here. This tree is gonna die. Like it's fine. It's okay. You as white, you just try to get points here and see what happens. Unfortunately, red is gonna get points here. Yeah, blocking the line feels good. Yeah, I think I agree with that move. Now the problem is that red gets a5 in center. I mean, it is probably with tempo. I'm not sure. It is probably with tempo, actually. You can't afford to lose it because d7 is in trouble. Shield. It is. And then that's another attack. Feels terrible. Maybe you don't defend this one. I'm not sure. Maybe you do something else. Try to live in the corner. I'm expecting a5, I think. I mean, you can probably take advantage of the white weaknesses a bit differently, like this, yeah, or b5, yeah, b5. I'm wondering if white can like try some things in bottom. Try to get some points. I mean, if you want to win, you have to live on the left, and you have to get something in the bottom. It still might not be enough. This is completely disconnected, obviously. Like, unless there's some crazy move that I'm not seeing. But at least maybe this sets up something. Like if, well, I don't know. Right now it's terrible, of course, because of the attack. I would be surprised if white can come back. Because even if red makes mistakes, like what kind of mistake can you make here? Everything is so solid. Even the fact that this shape is kind of squeezed in the middle, it's not squeezed enough. It's like the red shape in the middle is 3 wide, so it's perfectly fine. If it was too wide, maybe you could get like sandwiched in some way and yeah, squeezed to death or to disconnect with a mistake. But even with a mistake, I don't see how red loses the connection. Um, am I behind? I am slightly behind. Not too much though. This, and that. Okay, shield. Yeah, I think I played the wrong shield in my previous iteration. This is better for white. But still, like, red got a5 incentive with initiative, and yeah. Well, I'm gonna need a break after this one. That was some intense game, some intense opening, especially. The opening was really confusing. This is a bit different than what we got in the other kind of Kumachin like pies where you get A1 and J10 as a pie. Here we got A1, sorry, A1 I10, and here we got A1 J11. But also Red's approach was very different from what usually happens where you split the board. Red got something really solid in the center and then expanded from it. And you can see that this position on the spread, you can see that this position, solid position in the center, red expanded on the right, red expanded on the bottom, and because everything was really solid, it was kind of awkward. Then red had like lines going into there from the left into the right and from the top into the right. And white had to defend. And maybe white didn't have to defend everything, but it's just felt like red could comfortably get something. And I feel like it's definitely a really good call for red to close close up shop here on top. Really, really limits the options. That white has to come back. This move is, I think, pretty big for the left. There's nothing here. Yeah, it makes the corner alive. You're gonna lose a bunch of things, but maybe you can hold. Yeah, you can hold c6 as white, and you can hold d7. So I think it's fine. Okay, got this move. Then red shields here to defend this one. Now I'm more wondering if red has a move on a7, but I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, it does look good. Wait, so let's say you do something else, then that's an attack. I guess you shield. Maybe that doesn't do much, but yeah, maybe that's not as severe as I thought. Could get maybe 1 point. So I don't know if white has to answer. I mean, probably white has no way of coming back. I'm expecting. As long as the red thing in the middle holds, it's fine. Maybe as red you want to get a nice endgame move on the right later. Or maybe you just maybe it's more important to prevent any moves by white on the bottom. The white can play here maybe. So is there really any way for white to do something? I don't know. I'm thinking that there's nothing, but also Nobu has like 5 minutes on the clock, so not sure. Nobu moves g12. Okay. g12. Okay, so Nobu is trying to get something on the bottom. Yeah, that feels good. This last move. I15 because you want to keep your connection to the side as red, and you want to keep this way you keep white disconnected. And I feel like getting I feel like keeping white disconnected is the important thing. So what do you do? What do you do in white? If you want, maybe you play this. Really feels like there's not too much. You play a 3 and pray that it works. Maybe. Well, it just doesn't work. I don't know. I feel like it's a long shot, but I feel like you have to try something like this. The problem is red has lines here. Yeah. Feels like these red lines here, maybe they create a really nice like mesh for red to use. Yeah, I feel like this is too passive, but I'm not sure. Like I'm not sure what can do. You just cut here. No, that doesn't work. Walk into the double attack. So you don't cut. Then maybe you play here to get a third line of sight here. Or maybe you just play here. Now white can't do this because it gets immediately captured. This 2 is too vulnerable. White can't do this because this 2 gets immediately captured. Yeah, feels solid. Feels solid, it's true. I was kind of worried about the white move on I14, but I guess there was no need. Yeah, I still think red's winning by 20 points. Something. Something like that. This is closing the left. So now the white corner is completely safe. I still think it was completely safe, even with the possibility of red move here. But we got this, and then okay, what is it? Alec has some time, so if he wants to, but I don't think he needs to spend time. Just do this. Yeah, just do this as a way of preventing, because this move threatened by white threatened E11. I think here. But yeah, if you don't do anything, then there's this, and you can reinforce actually. Maybe I was too worried again, but in the game anyway, there was this, that, and then yeah, forcing move, forcing yeah, forced capture pretty much. I mean, not forced, but like unless you want to lose points. I guess usually it's not the plan. But now, yeah, now red is completely connected to the left. I mean, there's nothing to do. Nothing to do. So the game is probably going to end in 10 moves. I don't know. Something like that. This is an attack, so probably red wants to defend. But yeah, probably red wants to defend. Otherwise, then you have to be worried about f6. Maybe technically playing m6 is slightly, I don't know, or n something, but it would be, yeah, too much optimizing. Red doesn't need to do that. Red is ahead. Just play solid. Feel like it's good. And this move, this white move on f6 is never gonna do anything, because the eventually red is going to get this and it's gonna get eaten. So move on the right, yep, makes sense. And now I guess red just plays m6 maybe. Yeah, best move. If you play n7, just get immediately captured, so you lose 1 point. So you have to play a little bit back. Proper end game. I'm wondering if that does something. Like, was it a little bit greedy? I mean, I don't know. I think as red, I would just play this, because then the attack doesn't come with extra stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like in this situation, red played m6, white attacked, and then, well, I mean, now red has to defend here, right? But okay, then you get this move. Luckily, I think it doesn't do anything, but like I think you don't even have to defend it, but maybe you should. It's just, yeah. I think it doesn't do. Oh, actually, it does do something. We'll see what happens. Okay, we might get some like fireworks too, and to end the game. But yeah, I mean, now you have to do. I think Alec is right. You just have to shield. I think L5 was better, but yeah, it's fine. Alec is still winning. Maybe by a bit less than before though. Has to be careful. Yeah, only move. I mean, only move to try something. G2. G2 shield. As I said, you might not need to shield. But like I'm wondering if you play H3, can you just get away with that? Feels terrible actually. Feels like a blunder, but it might not be. I'm just saying it might technically be playable to ignore the attack and cut the link on the right instead. But that's like really, I don't know. deep fried tumbleweed, and maybe the bot would play it. I don't know. But then again, it probably would need to. It doesn't usually need to try really hard in the end game against humans. So L7. Yep. Now as L7, do you shield? You could have shielded. Like it's shielding on N10 is fun. I don't know if fun is good, but yeah, okay, maybe you have a problem then because you need to. I feel like that was playable, but maybe it didn't do anything, and maybe you don't need to do anything uh, to win. Wait, what? That's a mistake for sure. I mean, it loses 1 point, but you could have played. You could have played J5 instead. No? Then you reinforce, and then if it attacks, you just shield. Yeah, that was a mistake, but it only costs Alec 1 point. It's completely fine. Takes, and then this. Fair enough. Yeah, the game is gonna end pretty soon. A solid game. A solid game asterisk. Um, no, it was definitely a solid game. Like lots of threes, lots of really like solid play, not taking too much risk. I feel like Alec was more proactive. Maybe Nobu waited a bit too much. It is definitely closer than I expected in the end, though. Yeah. So now I'm expecting. Okay, what am I expecting? Oh, I guess Alec is right that this two can't be defended. I overlooked that. That's actually 1 point better than my variation. But still, K6 was a mistake. Just a 1 point mistake. But maybe it didn't change anything. Maybe he gave up J6. Now that I think about it. Maybe in this position, then what do? You reinforce, but then you give up this point. Okay. And then in the game variation, oops. In the game variation, wait, the game variation is actually better, I think, because you still have this line open. I thought it was a mistake, but it was not a mistake. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we got that, um, that, that, and then takes, and then oh, I didn't take it. Fair enough. You don't need to take as right actually. You can just yeah, you can just let things be, and I feel like now you have to play. You really have to play on the bottom as white. I mean, there's nothing to do, but you really have to play here or yeah, somewhere to just block this possibility for red. You block this. Yeah, this is just tidying up the game. Now, white has to defend against N8 because N8 would be pretty bad. Yep, losing an extra point. And I don't think there's any points left except for that. Wait, what? Wait, what? That's insane. Does that work? Can you let that be captured? Maybe you can actually. That is fancy. Some fancy tumbleweed. Yeah, this 3 is not a problem because it's gonna get recaptured because everything else is super solid. Yeah, that's pretty good endgame. Yeah, pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. Now maybe you play here or you capture here. I mean, there's nothing else to do anyway. So Because maybe this changes the variation now. Does it? I think it doesn't change anything. Because this thing is gonna die. Because this is a 4, so it holds. I think it's still fine. It's still fine to not capture, but there's literally no other move on the board, so yeah, and the bot is calling me. It's yeah, because there's nothing. The game was closer than I expected in the end. I think it's because white got something pretty big on the left. Maybe because red didn't play there early enough, but red got some really solid position on top. Uh, I don't know. I feel like red converted the game really well. Like good, yeah. Alec had a good feeling for what he could get away with. So Alec is going to play against Ben, aka Testing QWERTY, which is an interesting match for winner semis. And Nobu, loser 13, is going to play against Ale. Um, and I'm expecting Nobu to be heavy favorites for that one. Um, nice. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, either Alec or Ben is gonna move up to winners final. Well, GG.